Hey y'all, this is Casey, the Reading Knitter, and welcome to my third podcast. I just wanted to welcome all new and returning viewers. I'm excited to be back. I'm a day late because we were a little busy with stuff, life happens. We went and took my daughter to her preschool open house today, and that went good. I'm excited for her to get back into the routine of school. And it's funny because there's another Maddie in her class, so she's going to have to start being called Madeline, which might be a little bit hard because she says her name is Maddie. But other than that, Kat's been sickly. She had to go to the vet today, and not much else, just running around. Let's start off by letting you know everywhere you can find me. I'm on Ravelry and Instagram as The Reading Knitter. Feel free to follow me. Come join our group and come talk. We need to get some talking going on. I'm bad about checking it though. I'm sorry. And I guess I'll start with somebody asked me what was my first knit, and my first knit was this blanket. It's huge, and it's showing up black, but it's actually like a burgundy-ish color. It's very fuzzy yarn, and I knit this blanket for Maddie. When I found out I was pregnant in 2011, I really wanted to make her a blanket because at the time I just crocheted, and I wanted to crochet her a blanket because how are you going to be a crocheter and not have your own kid a blanket? So I went on the look for some yarn, and I told my parents, I don't want the regular, baby stuff. I want something different. So we looked and we looked and we looked, and we found this, and it feels so good, y'all. I pulled it out tonight. It hadn't been out for a while because it's so heavy and thick. We don't get that very much where we need it. It peels too, it sheds bad. I just got something off. And I found this, and I said, this is it. I want this. Well, I started crocheting it, and I didn't like how it looked at all. I would crochet it, then pull it out. Crochet it, and then pull it out. Because I just didn't like it, and I wasn't going to make it if I wasn't crazy about it. So I finally, back in 2012, I had a week off of work, and I was like, I'm going to teach myself how to knit. So we went to AC Moore, which was the closest thing to us at the time, and I got me some knitting needles, and I worked with some acrylic yarn that I had, just teaching myself the difference, how to knit. I didn't even know how to purl at the time. This is all knit stitches, and I've taught myself how to do that, and I finally was like, okay, I'm going to tackle this blanket. And it took me from June to October to make, and she hasn't used it once. I really, really like it, but it's so thick and so heavy. I might pull it out though for the winter and see if she wants to use it, because she's dying for me to make her a blanket. But that was my first knit, and because when I crocheted, I only made blankets. That's all I did. I made my husband a blanket. I made my mother-in-law a blanket. I made one of my friends a blanket. And I would always have a blanket going. It might take me 2 years to make it, but I would make you a blanket. So I was like, well, if I'm going to knit, I might as well make a blanket. And I did. That's the first blanket made. Now let's move on to finished objects, because I have a finished object. And it is the Able Cable Cow. Able Cable Cow by YIYO Designs, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's knit out of some Valeria di Roma Himalayan. It's very short. I used all the yarn I had, y'all. I couldn't have gotten another row out of this. I could have got maybe 2 or 3 more stitches, and that was it. I also have some red and green yarn like this that I might make another one for somebody else, but this is for my husband's sous chef's wife. because they bought it back from Spain for me. And it is knit out of Valeria di Roma Himalaya yarn. It's a bulky yarn, and I knit this on a size 10 needle. And even though it was a bulky yarn, I'm usually a finger and weight kind of girl, but even though it was a bulky yarn, I just like it. Maybe because it was cables. I don't know. I like me some cables. And that's the only finished object I had. I would have had another one, but I dropped a stitch, y'all. I had a problem. Sorry. This is in my bag that my best friend Erica made me. And it is my Nasty KAL. Not a sock, self-striping sock yarn, KAL. That the stockinette zombies. I got some yarn or something up in my nose. Whew. And it is the Simple Chevron Stripe Scarf by Karen Martinez. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And it needs to be blocked because it just keeps going down. And you see that little stitch mark right there? I had to rip back probably almost the rest of it because I dropped a stitch over here where the little increases are. Yeah, I was upset. It was 10 inches I had to rip out. I put a lifeline in, ripped it out, and started over. And I have since kept going, and it is now almost done. I need to do a couple of stockinette rows, and then I'm going to block it, and then I'm going to connect the ends with my provisional cast on. And this is knit out of Ladybug Fiber Company in the Drinks by the Pool colorway on size 3 needles. I'm ready. I'm ready for it to be done because I'm not really tired of the pattern because I like the pattern. I'm ready for it to be done. Next is my sock blanket. Sock yarn blanket. I think it was last week that there was a hashtag on Instagram and it was Sock Blanket Madness. And the goal was to take 1 week and see how many squares you could knit. Like knit away at it like crazy. That all sounds good and dandy, but I got sidetracked by some spinning. I was spinning on my Three Waters farm and couldn't stop. So I actually added 13 squares. I added 12 little ones and 1 big one. And this is my big one. And let me turn around this way. And then these are my little ones. I'm not a fan of pastel-y colors usually, but I love this square. I don't know what the yarn is. I got it in a swap sometime. But I love it. It's beautiful. And then I did almost, well, this was the last one I did on this row. But I did the rest of that row, and then I did these 4. And the color's really off. Like this looks brown, but it's really purpley. But I really enjoy this blanket, and I would probably only work on it if I didn't have other stuff to do. I did a lot of knitting on the super secret project that I can't show you. I'll show you a picture when I'm done and after the person's got it, because I don't know if any of the family watches it. And yes, it's for my family. So next is in my stockinette zombies. That's a good looking hoe bag, and it is a pattern by Mrs. Shoe, and it's called Rack'em and Stack'em, and it's an awesome pattern. I absolutely love this pattern. I had actually knit almost the whole foot in a different kind of yarn, and it just wasn't showing the pattern, so I ripped it out and started on this. If you're not happy with it, why knit it? And it's a 4-row repeat that's super fun. I love it. I told her I want to make a hat out of it. And this is in my Felicia from Knit Picks. I got some on D-Stash a couple months ago, and I love it. I want more of it. It's in the Sweetheart colorway. and that's what it looks like. And I knit this on size 0s, and I'm about 1.5 inches away from doing my Bootylicious heel from her pattern. So I'm excited. Did I say I love it? Because I just a little bit. That's what I've been working on when I haven't been working on my super secret project that I'm ready for it to be done with. Next, I'm going to do my spinning. I have been spinning. We watch Big Brother. I'm a Big Brother fan, y'all. And I like it a lot. And so when we're watching that, I spin. And I just sit and I'll spin until it goes off, or until, like, I'll tell myself, oh, you can go until the blue, or you can go until the green. I don't know. I have rules for myself. If not, I would only spin. But that's it. This is my second 8th, I guess, of it. Yeah. I love it. And I like how the color shifts like so much. And I even like that little bit of white in there. I just think it's so pretty. And it's super soft, so I've been favoriting a lot of their stuff. So if anybody thinks Christmas, just go look at my Etsy favorites, because they're all there. And that's kept in my 31 bag with penguins. I actually have it in a plastic bag inside of here, but this is just easy to grab. And I know I've talked about that I was going to get me another spindle, and I will in a couple weeks. This is, I don't usually have stash enhancement. While I want everything I see, we are trying to pay off debt, and I'll talk about more about that in a little bit. But until our debt is paid off and we get some savings done, spending is limited. So when I have stash enhancements, it's not going to be an every week kind of thing. It's not going to be probably every month. I mean, I don't know what. If you're looking for stash enhancement to oogle and ogle, it's not going to be on this podcast. I'm so sorry. So, but all that being said, the Copper Quarry had a fiber sale, and it was like 30% off of her prices, and I was like, I'm gonna get some of that. And I was texting my friend Erica, and I was like, do I get that or do I get the spindle? And I was like, wait a minute, I can get the spindle later, but this is only going to be on sale for a little bit. So here's her tag, and this is Polworth and Silk, and she's on Etsy. And this is my braid. Now let me go into this saying, I am not a yellow gold colored girl. If you asked anybody that knows me what my least favorite color is, they would say yellow. It's yellow, because it is. But when I saw this and I ordered it, I sent her a message and I said, I realized that they might all be dyed together and they might all be exactly the same color, but if you have one with more gold and yellow in it, can I have that one? Who am I? I sent my mom a text and I said, you will not believe what I just did. Like I've done something bad. But this is super soft too. I'm ready to spin it already. Not that I don't have anything else to spin. But that is Copper Quarry. Y'all should check her out. I hear the Carolina Fiber girls talk about her all the time, and I thought, I'm going to get me some of that. Sorry for the crinkling. It's still in this bag and everything. I was like, I'm not doing anything with that until I show. Let me get a sip of water. Drinking me some water. Not a big water fan, so it's a lot. I plan on keeping this short, not like super short, not like 2 or 3 minutes, but Not that I don't like watching or listening to longer podcasts, but with a 3-year-old and a life that we have, it is hard for me to find time to sit down for like a full hour. So if I'm watching like an hour podcast, I have to break it up. Like I'll have to watch like an hour here and then break it up to an hour or however long another time. Like I have to break it up. So one of the, like I like Holly Dapp has a podcast and the Swift Knits podcast and then the Bookish Stitcher, and I love their podcasts partly because they're usually like 30 minutes to an hour, and I can sit down and listen to that and knit while I'm doing it and have me a little break during nap time. So I'm saying that, I don't want you to think that I'm just talking super fast and trying to get off of here, because I still am nervous, but I just don't want you to have to sit here for hours listening to me all by myself in North Carolina talking to you. If that's what you want to do, though, you message me and we can Skype, okay? So I'm going to do a little new segment, and it's life in general. And I mentioned that we were paying off debt. And last year, our church went through or did a Financial Peace University class, and my husband and I had read a couple of books before and kind of did a little bit of paying off debt and here and there, and I don't know, we took this class and we have been paying off our debt like crazy. This is our debt-free paper, and I don't think you can read the numbers, but it starts, figure out which hand I'm at 0 down here, and that's when you've only paid 0, and then it goes all the way up, and you can do it as many, as like the girl who put this out there, and it's on debtfreecharts.blogspot.com, and it's free. I printed it off, and I colored it in, and ours goes from 0 to $33,500. Yeah, you heard that right. That was our debt, or is our debt. That's student loans and medical bills, and since May of 2014, we have paid off $24,000. Yeah, I'm so excited. Like that's a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Dave Ramsey always talks about you gotta eat beans and rice. Well, I don't like beans and rice. Sorry. So we eat bologna and cheese, peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and banana. We eat a lot of sandwiches. So it's hard work. I'm not gonna lie. It is very hard work, especially when you're seeing all the yarn you want to buy. And you're seeing all this fiber and you're like, oh, just look at this. I could have it. I could have it in my stash. It'll be alright. It's going to be there when I pay off my debt. And so we are hoping to be paid off our debt by maybe, we're hoping like January, February. But we are working hard at it, and I'm telling you, if you feel like you're beat down paycheck to paycheck, check Dave Ramsey out. He knows his stuff, and he is super intelligent, and he doesn't lie. He doesn't say it's going to be, oh, this will be easy. No, he says this is going to be hard work, but you can do it. And you can. You just have to have dedication and a mindset to do it. And my last thing is, well, not the last thing, before my Bible verse. The question of the week is, what kind of knit along would you like? I would really like to host a knit along, but I want some input. I don't want to be hosting it just for me to be over here knitting and nobody else joining me. And what would you like to hear more about on the podcast? Like, do you not like the life stuff, like the debt stuff, and that my 3-year-old is a wild child sometimes? Or do you like that stuff and you don't mind hearing about it? And I don't know, what do you look for in a podcast, I guess, is a better question. And my next thing is my Bible verse, which is my last thing. And a little bit of background on that is Being Brienne of Knitworthy Podcast posted this the other day on Instagram. And I have been going through some stuff where I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do it. I really, really want something really, really bad. And God's going to give it to me when I'm ready. Or when He's ready and He knows I'm ready. And that's okay. I need to get okay with that. And I've come to the conclusion that I am okay with that. And I'm trusting in Him. Like, He's got this, and I don't need to pick it up and slap Him in the face and say, no, you don't. So my Bible verse is, you know what I long for, Lord, and you hear my every sigh. Psalms 38:9. And that's really all I have today. If you ever want to give me something to pray about that you want me to pray about, I will. If you ever want to share a verse, that's cool. If you ever want to hear me say like certain verses on my podcast, that's cool too. Just let me know in the Ravelry group, and I hope you come join our Ravelry group. Thanks. Bye.